Hello and welcome back to another episode of Hidden Video Game Details, the series where we take a look at some of the cooler things that you may not have noticed when playing your favourite games. In today's video we jump into helicopter propellers, all in the name of science in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, we test our dad joke credentials in Ghost 1.0, and we play a spot of pool in Deus Ex Mankind Divided. As always, if you think you know the detail that I'm yet to cover, then the best place to let me know is in the comments section or on my social media accounts. The links, as always, are in the description. Oh, and if you do go on to enjoy this video, then leaving a like, subscribing, or turning notifications on is really appreciated. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. So first up, let's take a look at one of the godfathers of video game details. Grand Theft Auto 5, much like Red Dead Redemption 2, is packed with excellent examples of attention to detail that you may not have noticed. The first detail from Grand Theft Auto 5 features sleazy car salesman Simeon Yatarian. During the game's opening hours, Simeon awards Franklin the position of Employee of the Month.
That you are Employee of the Month, huh? Anyway, congratulations. It wasn't easy picking a winner.
That soon changes, however, when under the instruction of Michael DeSanta, Franklin drives a car through Simeon's dealership window. Well, if you head back to the dealership a little later on, you can find this. So Simeon has replaced Franklin as the dealership's Employee of the Month with himself. The picture of Simeon even includes the bruises he got when fighting with Michael. The next GTA 5 detail is one of my favourite details I think I've ever recorded. Shooting near the rear tyre on the left hand side of a car will puncture its fuel tank. What's really cool is, if you hop into the car in first person, you can see the fuel gauge lowering in real time. Now I don't know why, because it's pretty simple really, but I really like this detail. Up next is a game that I promise I didn't buy for the reasons that you think I did. Haydee 2 is a third-person puzzle shooter where you take control of a character with very large assets. Well, if you can take your eyes away from some of the other, more standout features on display, you may notice that our thick with 2C's protagonist will follow the camera wherever you move it.
Warning. Emergency power supply at 5%. Shutdown imminent. Anchor restart required.
Listen, I know this detail isn't mind-blowing, but I needed a reason to feature our new friend in the thumbnail. I'm sure you understand. So I recently said that Call of Duty Modern Warfare is the most detailed Call of Duty game ever released. But if you guys keep recommending details like the ones we're taking a look at today, then Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War may be some serious competition. Our first Cold War detail features everyone's favourite onion, Frank Woods.
We do this quiet, Mason.
Yeah, you're the expert in quiet.
I'm a goddamn onion, Mason. You should know that.
During the red light, green light mission, you are tasked with taking pictures of a Russian base. Well, if you decide to turn your attention towards Woods and instead take his picture, he will say things like this.
Hey, is that thing working? Hope you got my good side. Alright, enough already. The base. We need pictures of the base.
The next Cold War detail can actually be found on the same mission. If you jump into the helicopter propeller, this will happen. So for some strange reason, it turns out that the guys at Treyarch anticipated players would jump into the helicopter propellers and had these messages waiting. The final detail from the same mission can be found in the arcade. If you ignore the objectives and instead play on the arcade cabinets, Woods will say things like this.
Hey, give me a quarter. Video games. There's no future in that shit. Oh God, I'll never understand video games. Park would be so pissed if she knew we were doing this. You know, if you play these things for too long, you go fucking blind. It's true.
The final detail from Cold War, well for today's video at least, comes from one of the DLC guns. If you inspect the ICB rifle, it will do this. So the gun with rockets attached to it wants to take off. Next up is the excellent and equally underrated Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Now, despite being a brilliant stealth action game, Mankind Divided never really seemed to be embraced by a large portion of gamers, which is a huge shame. The detail from Mankind Divided that we're sharing today is one of the many excellent details found in the game. So plenty of games have featured pool tables where you can pot the balls, which is cool, but it's not as cool as this. So potting a ball will cause it to appear inside the pool table, ready for the next game. As I said, plenty of games have featured pool tables before, but I can't recall one that does this. So as some of you may know, I am a father of 2 children, and that means there is one thing I love above all other things. Well, apart from the children of course, and that's dad jokes. Dad jokes are at their finest when they make your eyes roll, and it seems that Ghost 1.0 knows that more than anyone. When you start a new game, you are told to choose a name for your game. Choose wisely, as it can't be changed later. So what happens if we name our game wisely, as instructed? Well, the game anticipates that grade A dad joke and laughs. Okay, but we were told it can't be changed later. So let's name our game Change Later. Right, so it can't be changed later. What about another name? Well, it turns out the game is sick of your excellent sense of humour and shuts itself down. Great stuff. So the final details for today's video come from The Sims 4. With a new lockdown being announced in the UK, The Sims 4 is probably the best way to have a life in 2021, which is really depressing. The first detail from Sims 4 won't make you any happier, I'm afraid. When a sim dies in The Sims 4, the Grim Reaper will come to collect them. What's really cool though is that if you die in the water, the Grim Reaper comes prepared.
Shaka?
So, wary of the sea, the Grim Reaper wears a scuba mask and then leaves your sim's urn in a rubber ring. I mean, you can't say he doesn't care. The final detail for today's video once again involves a sim dying. If you have a sim with low cooking skill, cook pufferfish, there's a chance that this will happen. So as expected, your sim will die. Well, if your sim comes back as a ghost, you may notice something in its stomach. So a sim that dies from eating pufferfish will spend the rest of its time in the afterlife with a pufferfish swimming around in its belly. So that's it. As mentioned, if you know of any Easter eggs, secrets or details that I'm yet to cover, then the best places to let me know are in the comments section or on my social media accounts, the links to which are in the description. Remember, if you are a fan of Easter eggs, secrets and tiny details in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. A big thank you to Mason is Gaming for recommending the Cold War helicopter detail, Matthew Penrod for mentioning the Woods camera detail, and a whole bunch of you for suggesting Woods in the arcade. Your suggestions are really appreciated. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.